Willie, after you went back and watched film, specifically starting with offense, what were your thoughts from post game to now about confirmed about the same in terms of what y'all did?
Pretty similar thoughts. Offensively, we had a tough time throwing the football effectively. We had a couple deep shots, and one of which we connected on, and one which we missed. We just didn't. We never got going. We'd have a decent drive going, and they'd either stop us or we'd stop ourselves with a fumble or a penalty or whatever the case may be. I want to give Cincinnati a lot of credit. They got a good ball club. And they did a really good job defensively. It's a tough group to play against. They run that three-man front, and they have a 3-3-5, and they get different guys from different areas, and you get an explosive run on them, and they hold it to a 10, 12-yard gain instead of a 30, 40-yard gain. So offensively, we just had a tough time with any, establishing any continuity and any success. Defensively, there's a couple plays that they took advantage and ran on multiple occasions, and I don't think we tackled quite as well. I think some of that had to do with the back. I thought he was a hard-running, physical back. He had a nice run early in the game, and that was a play. If we executed, what we call properly, it might be a 5-yard gain instead. It was I don't know what it was, 40, 45-yard gain, something like that, for a touchdown. So, and then we had too many penalties in the kicking game. We had 3, and that's 3 too many. And we'd taken a step, in the right direction the week before, and we took a step backwards this week, and all 3 phases. We just got to get better. We know, as I've said many times before, we're not going to roll the ball out, and just have unbelievable success. We got to execute, and we got to play smart and play hard, and coach them better.
Your thoughts on just where are you quarterback wise?
Donovan's going to start, and we'll play both quarterbacks in the game.
Is that by going both? Do you kind of want to get Zion some steps, or is there?
Well, they both have done some good things, and we want to see, it's not, it might be crystal clear to some people, but to me, I've seen some good things and some things not so good. And we're gonna play both those guys, and we're gonna give them both opportunities to show us what they can do. We got to play better with the other 10 guys. That's a big part. So quarterback gets too much credit when things go well, and they get too much blame when things don't go well. And so the whole offense has got to play better. And hey, that starts with the head coach and the coordinators and the position coaches as well. We got to do a better job.
In your opinion, is there a competition at quarterback?
It's just we really haven't seen Zion do opportunity to do a whole bunch of stuff. I think he had 5 pass attempts on Saturday, something like that, but I've seen, you look at our 2 games ago, I thought Don played pretty darn well, and this past week, and also our offense played well. Now, granted, it wasn't the same opponent, but we've got to play better in all the spots. We've got to play better in the offensive line, the receivers, the running backs. There's some things we did good, and we just got to stay away from negative plays. It hurts us. We're not at the point where we're going to have a negative play, and then next play we're going to get an explosive for 25 yards. It's just we're not to that point right now.
You talked about Donovan being on a pitch count. Is that still in play?
Yeah, no. He's one of the things we're doing is he's taking Sunday and Monday off. We're not throwing him on Monday. We're not throwing him on Sunday. Just sort of make sure that we like to get the input from the student athletes, and how they're feeling and all those kind of different things. So, the days for us, we do a lot of throwing are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. we want him to be able to take all the reps that he possibly can on those days.
The footing on the field at Cincinnati, the guys seem to be slipping. What was that about?
It's I watched it on film, and it looked like they were slipping too on occasion as well, and that's something that everyone needs to do a great job of, and we research before the season begins, and what is the best shoe for the student athletes to wear, to and cleats, and how many what we need to wear on it, and we're doing a little research on it ourselves. But you're right, there was some slipping that was going on, but I did see it happen both sides of the ball, both of them and us.
Willie, there seemed to be a number of plays where Donovan, or maybe in some cases, there would be throws that would be behind the line. Were those checkdowns, or were those things?
No, those are calls, and and they did a really nice job of defending that. Their defense is built where it's hard to get the ball out on the perimeter and have numbers, and they did a good job rallying on it, and we had some success with that. Oklahoma and Rice game, throwing quick perimeter screens, and we just did not have success with that.
And on most games, do you go in? Do you have like a certain number scripted to begin? Is that sort of a plan?
Yeah, you're always going to script. You're going to have your openers, and those are plays that you really work on, and when you run them, you hope they're in the look that you prepared. Sometimes that doesn't happen. They're in something different. If that's the case, you got to look to do something. Have a check and not run that play, but it's you have your openers and you work those, and then after you get into the game, you got down a distance, personnel grouping, field zones, where you call your plays.
So over the past 3 games, there's been a run-heavy offense and a lot of short and intermediate throws. Is the lack of say long throws or in heavy run, is that due to Donovan's injury, or is that like a game plan?
Well, it really has nothing to do with Donovan's injury. He had a couple nice long throws. One of them we connected on, the other one we didn't. It's more, the protection part of it. We got to sustain those blocks for a longer period of time. We got to do a great job with that, and that involves the offensive line and the tight ends, and on occasion running backs on occasions, and then also the quarterback being able to move in the pocket as well. So it's not just one thing, but we got to do a better job of getting the ball downfield. No question about that.
Willie, this kind of goes back to what you said about team-wide and doing things, everybody kind of doing their assignments and stuff. But after the game, you had mentioned that you needed to get guys to either do it the right way or find guys who have, who do it the right way. Does that go for pretty much every?
Well, when we're getting to the point in the season where we've played some games now, and we've been able to evaluate coaches and players, and you got to put people in the position where they can be successful, whether it's offense, defense, kicking game. And, there comes a point in time where you got to, make a change. Now, sometimes, hey, that's the best guy you got there, and you got to, coach him up and get him to improve and not make the same mistake again. So every position, every, guy's a little bit different, but, it's, we got to do a good job of putting guys in the right spots, and guys having a difficult time making a block on the perimeter. Hey, maybe you need to do that with somebody else. If a guy's having a hard time making an open field tackle, you either got to try somebody else or get a guy who can can make that tackle and put him in that position.
And if you could elaborate afterwards, you mentioned about maybe going back to the drawing board on offense. Can you kind of elaborate on what you'd like to see or where those areas need to be?
Well, just overall, the whole thing. I know, you get me after a game, we get spanked pretty good. You're going to hear a little frustration. So that's part of it. But we can't have minus plays. We can't, we had some things going. We fumble the ball on occasion. We had some things going. We got an open guy. We miss a pass. We got some things going. We don't pick up a twist or a loop, and we just aren't. Right now we're not efficient enough to overcome those things. So we got to get better on being assignment sound and not making those mistakes and not putting ourselves behind the chains. It happened a couple times defensively where we had stops and we had a missed assignment. That if we do it right, we got a sack. We don't do it right, they got a big hitter. So it's all phases.
Rashawn's 4 games into his career. Did you tell him any advice in terms of the 2 that he dropped there?
Yeah, he just he played a really good game if you don't count those, but you got to count those, and he knows that. He's a smart young man. He runs hard. He's going for extra yards, and just got to do a great job. We stress the heck out of ball security. It's not for the people you see. It's the people you don't see, guys coming in your blind spot. That's why you got to be cognizant of it all the time, and you get into practice, it carries over the game. So there's some impressive things he did in the ball game. We just got to work on that and correct it.
There's been a couple of concerns in the special teams. Do you have any concerning thoughts about your kicker and the special teams overall?
Yeah, we're gonna have to find a guy. Jack Martin's going to be our starting kicker this week, and I hate to put pressure on those guys, but he's got to make his field goals. He doesn't. We're going to get Joseph back in there, and we got to kick off better. We punted okay. Liam's still learning a little bit. Our coverage unit, we made a mistake on a fair catch signal with a punt, and the guy gets the opportunity to. We had punt catch interference, and we got to understand the rules on that and be close. Had a face mask on a play. Guy trying to be aggressive, got his hands up in the face mask. That's another penalty. So we got to play smart in that phase as well. That's something that we rep, we talk about, and we got to make sure that we eliminate those penalties in the kicking game because they hurt you more in that phase than they do in any other phase.
So would you say there's an increased emphasis on instilling that discipline within the players?
Oh yeah, we do it every day. But we got to get it done. We got to play smart, no question about it.
Willie, out of necessity, you moved some guys around on defense, but with some of the injuries, Kendra and Jalen flip-flopping. What did you think of that, and is that going forward sort of where you're going to keep them?
Well, Kendra's healthy again. He missed 2 weeks ago. We got him in there, and he got to play some. And those guys will be playing linebacker, but they're also good enough athletes, both of them, that they can get out there on the perimeter a little bit as well. And there's some different defensive packages we got where we'll play those guys, a little bit more as an outside linebacker as well.
What have you seen from Iowa State? What is it that has you worried or something?
Well, they're a good
on?
team. I know they're ranked whatever in the country, but defensively, a lot of similarities between what they do and what Cincinnati does, except they've been running that same style of defense forever, and do an excellent job with it. So it'll just be a little more multiple than what we saw, but their base is a 3-man front like we saw this last week. And then offensively, they've got some big guys. You know, their offensive line probably averages 6'5", 6'6", 320. You know, I was looking at something the other day. I think their right tackle 6'9", their left tackle 6'6", and they're 6'4", 6'5" in the interior. So they got really big guys, and you know, they got big tight ends, and you know, the quarterback is a veteran guy. You know, and they got a tough, hard-nosed team. We're going to have to come in and play tough ourselves. Everybody good?